Welcome back to my channel, YouTube. Listen, I want to give you a formal introduction. My name is Chef Brandon. I'm a chef here in Silicon Valley. Listen, check out my YouTube page. I'm telling you, you're going to want to subscribe. If you want to be a chef, or if you're an upcoming chef, or if you're working in a restaurant, you're a cook, and you want to get promoted, trust me, I leave you with so many value bombs here in my videos on this channel. It's worth it to subscribe. So, and if you're not following me on IG or TikTok, please head over there. Link will be in the description and follow me over there. But listen, the reason why we're in my garage gym today is because I wanted to make this short video. I get this question so many times on how to create dishes, how to put a dish together for a menu, for a tasting menu, for an a la carte menu. So I want to do that with you today. I had the luxury of working at Alinea. It was one of the best experiences of my life, but I learned something super valuable there that I've always taken with me, and it's something called flavor bouncing. So again, I did not invent this. Chef Hackett's invented this, okay? I just worked at Alinea and I was able to see firsthand how it works. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So basically, I wanted to use this whiteboard because it just makes it a lot easier. So flavor bouncing. And basically, I'm gonna pretend like we're creating a dish on a tasting menu, okay? Because this is what it's formatted for. But honestly, you can translate it to an a la carte dish, to an appetizer, to anything, any type of composed dish. And here it goes. So let's say, for convenience sakes, we're gonna go with duck, okay? So you have your duck is your focal ingredient, right? You just got some beautiful duck breast from a local farmer, and you want to see what you can put them with together on a dish for a menu. Now, I think it's very important to go with always what's seasonal, okay? Okay, there's spring, summer, winter, fall, right? I mean, obviously it's fall, winter, but just for shits and giggles. So anyway, excuse my language. But make sure that this coincides with what season you're in, okay? That's the garnish that you want to use. Trust me, you just get better product. It's way better to use seasonal produce. Trust me on that. Anyway, so duck. So what do we want to pair the duck with? I always think about flavors first. Then I go into technique, texture, all right? If this wasn't a tasting menu and it was an a la carte dish, meaning you're gonna sell an entree, so $35, $40, always think starch and vegetable because that's what people expect. Trust me, I've went down the rabbit hole. You can't just put a piece of protein with the sauce anymore unless you're in a steakhouse. So anyway, we're gonna go duck. Right now, it's the beginning of summer, beautiful cherries. So cherries, we're gonna go with cherries, all right? I'm also going to think of something else that goes with duck, mustard. But the thing is that this ingredient has to go with this ingredient. So I can see cherry and mustard going together, right? So let's pick an herb, right? So let's think of an herb. I'm gonna say thyme. Okay, let's think of one other thing. I'm gonna say polenta. Right? And now I highly suggest to always leave one spot for a garnish, for a microgreen or some type of finishing element, right? So the garnish is going to be the fifth thing, right? And we can go with micro. I will pick the flavor after we get over here. All right, so I never go more than 5 things with the main focus. And the reason for that is because people get too confused. So what's really important is to build 3 to 5 flavors, right? You might end up canceling one, but at least you have them because it's been, trust me, I've done this so many times, and I think what's really important is put it down on paper, but it's easier for me to explain it this way. So we have our components we want to work with, okay? So the duck, what you're gonna focus on is the cooking first. How are we gonna cook it? The technique, okay? That's important. And what part of the animal, right? Part of the animal, okay? Then, how are we gonna do the cherries, all right? This is very important. How can you highlight this ingredient so the guest knows exactly what it is, and 2, it's the best it's ever gonna be. So is that a cherry compote? Is that poached cherries? Is that fresh cherry? Is that cherry juice that's turned into leather? That's what you have to figure out. Micro garnish. Now listen, this is not a cop out, right? But the thing is people eat with their eyes. So 8 to 10 times I'm putting a microgreen on the dish. Now, me as a chef, I personally only use micros that actually taste like something. I think this is very important. So just came to my mind, but I'm gonna use micro radish. I love micro radish because it's spicy and they taste good and you actually know what it is you're eating. But anyway, same thing. So duck, mustard. So are we gonna use mustard seeds? Are we gonna use Dijon in some sort? Is this gonna be the sauce, right? That's what you need to think about. Polenta, I'm gonna say just for time's sake, I'm gonna say either cake, polenta cake, or right, creamy, right? Because we wanna focus on the texture, right? So I think what's really important is when you're building a dish, technique, right, and flavor are the two top, okay? This is the two top things, okay? First thing being technique, then flavor. So you need to be able to tell the cook how they're gonna cook it. I think that's really important. Now, the reason why I say technique first is because the focus needs to be technique, then flavor is the next thing. Very important, right? How are we seasoning this duck? Are we gonna use coriander, salt and pepper, whatever the case may be? But now that you have this guideline, right, you can do whatever you want from here. Now, listen, if this was gonna be for a tasting menu, I would probably remove the polenta and then add some type of leafy green like kale, like a kale chip, or maybe some braised Swiss chard, because that would play nice with all of these. Sorry for my handwriting, but it's just that it is what it is. All right, then next, 3, you're going for texture, okay? Now, this is very important. You don't want to have a poached duck breast, soft cherries, okay? Mustard that's in the sauce, thyme that is not, that's in the sauce or whatever the case may be, and polenta that's creamy, right? That dish is gonna be no good. You need something that's crispy. So, I think what's really important is think about textures, right? So we know that we want crispy skin, right? Skin crispy, okay? Then I think the best thing to do would be to go to one of the other ingredients. What else is gonna be crispy? So, is it gonna be the polenta? Are we gonna make a cake? Or is it gonna be creamy, right? Next, herb, thyme. We could make an isomalt glass. We could do an herb foam. There's a lot of things that we can do, but I think what's really important is making sure that whatever component you decide has to go with all of these, or else the dish is kind of, it doesn't make sense, right? So I think what's really important is just making sure that all the ingredients that you decide, 1, go with the main focal ingredient, but 2, also play well with these other ones, And then think about this, right? This duck goes with any type of fruit. So it doesn't just have to be cherry. It can be blueberry, right? But does blueberry go with radish, mustard, polenta, and thyme? Maybe. It's a fruit. As long as it's cooked, it's fine, right? Now, here's another thing. Let's do this for example. I'm going to show you what not to do. Let's say you want to do a beer, right? Some type of beer in the sauce, right? I'm just throwing it out there. Now, beer definitely goes with mustard, but does beer go with fruit? Maybe. It would go with orange, right? But does it go with polenta? Nah. And honestly, beer doesn't really go with duck. You don't really have beer. Now, with game meats, I would argue, but so the thing is that probably isn't the best bet. But anyway, so then from there, technique, flavor, texture, okay, very important, are the 3 top, right? Then what I do, the last, is I work on the plating, right? Plates and plating. So there's a few more things that I consider, okay? So we just got finished talking about plates, okay? So then I think what's really important is if you're in a restaurant, if you are, let's say, okay, this is just a pro tip. If you're in a restaurant and you're a chef or you're a sous chef or you're a junior sous chef, or whatever the case may be, is you're a chef de cuisine or executive chef, and you need to have this dish executed for service, what I like to do, and this is just a pro tip, is spread the love, right? Don't try to do everything by yourself, right? Give the component, hey, you give this to a sous chef or a cook. This is from you. You give this to garnish, right? The herb thyme garnish or whatever herb it is, sage, it could be whatever it wants. You give the preparation to a cook, you know what I'm saying? And that way the whole team has a say in the actual dish, and trust me, it'll come out nicer. But that's my pro tip. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you want me to go more into depth on this, this was just kind of like a snapshot into the world of building tasting menus and building a la carte dishes. This one is more geared to an a la carte dish, but I think the most important thing is just, you have to feel it out, feel it with your soul, deep down, and always plate it before service. Okay, cook and plate one dish before service. Fire one off, right? Because wasting 2 ducks, and having everybody taste it and the servers taste it and get behind it is much more important than not selling any when you put on all that hard work, or when you also, you don't have enough oomph behind it, or people don't know what they're doing. So I think that's really important. Anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like. All right. New videos every Wednesday and Friday.